Hey, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Hey, Sam, what did Messiers say when you called and placed that order?
I didn't call them. You were just talking about RNA. You can't be doing that to both of them at the same time.
Yeah, I can. I want Messiers because I tell them I'm coming up there. I'll do a pickup. Tell them I want apple, but no hard cider, apple butter. Tell them I want apple cider donuts. Tell them I'm coming up and make a pickup. Get me a to-go order up there at Messiers Orchards in Blue Ridge. Okay, treason. I was just thinking about this, treason. We just don't use that word enough anymore, do we? We just don't. Treason, a crime of betraying one's country. Thank God we left Gitmo open, right? Guantanamo Bay. Wouldn't you just love to see Soros and Podesta and Hillary and all of them down there in Gitmo? A crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill the sovereign or overthrow the government. An act of betraying someone or something. Treason, I say, treason. Okay, now, I was not here yesterday, and let me just, I was not here yesterday. I've got a closing statement I'm going to make. But before we do, I did not get an opportunity to bring... I did not get an opportunity to actually discuss. I had it here a minute ago. Where's it at? Oh, here it is. The UN speech by Donald Trump. I didn't get a chance to do that yesterday. Okay, and so the UN speech of Donald Trump hit on all the marks, and take all this stuff down there, please. Hit on all the marks, and we have okay. We have watched the exit of Bannon, and the list goes on, and we've talked about who is surrounding the president now. Okay? Who's surrounding the president now? And I was wondering, who was the Jew that wrote that speech? I mean, I watched the speech, every word, and I'm thinking that had to be written by a Jew. Who is the Jew that wrote that speech? Now, some of you are offended at this time, okay? Some of you are highly offended, okay? This is a website, a Jewish website in Israel, all right? And the article's title is actually "The Jew Who Wrote Trump's Speech." Stephen Miller writes Trump's UN speech detailing almost biblical view of independent nations. In 30 years of experience with the United Nations, I never heard a braver or clearer speech, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said Tuesday regarding U.S. President Donald Trump's maiden speech at the United States General Assembly. That's the name of the article. Stephen Miller is the Jew who wrote the speech. That's on an Israeli website. Now, socialism, there's so many things, and I could go through this. They have counted how many times Trump said sovereign nation. They counted that. He called him Rocket Man, said he was going to clean him off the face of the earth, right? He talked about Russia. He talked about Iran being the worst deal. And this is so many things about everything he said. I remember, I think it was Monday. I think Monday on the show, I said, let's see who shows up at the UN. This is big. This is not who shows up at the G8. This is not who shows up at the G10 or whatever they are. This is not at any foreign council meeting. This UN speech. Let's see if he goes and says he's a citizen of the world or president of the United States of America. I said that Monday right here. Let's watch this. This will be a tell-all, or tell most of all where it comes to Trump, because you never know where he's at. All right. Now, do you want me to believe that he told Stephen Miller, the Jew, it's on the article, quit telling me, it's on the article, the Jew who wrote the, you think he told the Jew who wrote Trump's speech to write it, load it on a teleprompter, and I'll read it and then I've got to go? I don't think so. So, let's play the socialism clip that has had the UN speechless. They were in awe over this one.
And prosperity for all of our people and all of our neighbors. I ask every country represented here today to be prepared to do more to address this very real crisis. We call for the full restoration of democracy and political freedoms in Venezuela. The problem in Venezuela is not that socialism has been poorly implemented, but that socialism has been faithfully implemented. From the Soviet Union to Cuba to Venezuela, wherever true socialism or communism has been adopted, it has delivered anguish and devastation and failure. Those who preach the tenets of these discredited ideologies only contribute to the continued suffering of the people who live under these cruel systems. America stands with every person living under a brutal regime. Our respect for sovereignty is also a call.
Sovereignty. Socialism doesn't work, folks. Wonder what happened to Bernie Sanders. I wonder how that played in Europe. Huh? How'd that play in Europe? Socialism doesn't work. Anywhere socialism or communism has been put in place. Communism, socialism, they failed. Fully implemented. That did not play well. The UN speech did not play well. Now, yesterday, they dug up Madeleine Albright. And I wish I would have wrote down what I heard her saying on MSNBC about 8:30 yesterday morning as I was driving up the road to Blairsville. I wish I would have wrote that down, but they dug up, I thought it was funny, they dug up the person, Madeleine Albright, that brought us the worst deal through an administration with North Korea, that Bill Clinton came out and bragged that we had this, it was good for the whole world, this new nuclear deal with North Korea was good for everybody in the world. So they dug up Madeleine Albright, the State Department mother of the big problem there in North Korea, normalizing relations with them. And then they dug up John Kerry, fresh off his bicycle ride through the south of France. They dug him up. And he, the guy that gave us the worst deal with Iran you could ever possibly have. So they dug those two up to take on Trump yesterday. I'm going to tell you what happened. You're not hearing a lot. They're not going over the top. They're cautious on the UN speech. And I'll tell you why. I know what you're saying. Well, no, I was watching so-and-so and they were calling Trump this and calling Trump that and what a dark speech it is. But they're not going over the top because the speech played well in America. And they know that. They know average Americans out here in the heartland agreed with Trump at the UN. All right? Agreed with it. So they're not playing that. But the hurricane, here is the thing that they're trying to do. I want to give you one polling number before we close today. MSNBC, manipulating as always, okay? They came up, my computer's freezing up. And when's the last time you heard that? Is Lonnie over there, has he got 10 pages open? Sam's got 10 pages open. Everybody's got, that's why the last hour. But it's called the 70-30 split, folks. And the 70-30 split, and MSNBC put up a poll that 70% of America agreed with President Trump cutting a deal with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer for the hurricane relief package in Texas, Houston, and the debt ceiling. And they said 70% agreed with that, trying to prove that every time, it's called the 70-30 split, every time they tell you that that Donald Trump only has a 30% approval rating, those are the 30%. They call it the 30-70 split. My computer's freezing up. I wanted to do one more story before I close today. Tomorrow's Friday, right? I'm just getting my bearings straight. Tomorrow's Friday, so we'll be at Sycamore Crossing tomorrow. We will be at Sycamore Crossing in downtown Blue Ridge. We are going to have candidates show up. We have invited. I personally went and invited Doyle Brendan, candidate for mayor, to show up and tell him he was invited to come. So maybe he will. He was invited to come and present to you his campaign and why he wants to be mayor. I've invited every candidate, folks, on Friday. If you don't see Councilwoman Angie Art, I asked candidate Angelina Powell just last week to come to the show. She will not confirm or deny whether she will. Okay. All candidates have been invited. If you're watching today and you're a candidate, get in touch with us. You are invited to come and do an open interview and give your position on your campaign. If you've watched the others, I will ask one or two questions, but in the overall, you get to come and give your position on the campaign. We'll be at Sycamore Crossing. That's tomorrow. Now, October, the first Friday in October, we'll be back over at Blue Jeans. Sooner or later, I'm going to get to the tab I want to open, and I want to play something. I want to not play something, but I want to see a story that I'm looking for. So tomorrow, Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley. Now, I don't have time to go through these, but there's some really good stories right now. Lou Dobbs goes off about corrupt Mueller. I don't sit and encourage a lot of people to watch other shows all the time, but every once in a while I got to take my hat off. But to him, Lou Dobbs, I got to give a shout out to him. I think if you get a chance, it's a great show to watch. And Lou Dobbs really takes on the corruption of Mueller on Fox Business. In fact, Fox Business is better to watch actually than Fox News itself. If you really want to get, they still have some conservative things happening over there, and I'm kind of concerned on why, wondering why the Murdochs haven't stopped that. Update. Put America First rally Sunday in St. Louis with Steve Bannon is sold out. Put America First rally with Steve Bannon is sold out. Breitbart.com chairman and former White House strategist Steve Bannon will headline the Put America First rally September 24th. 2017 in St. Louis, Missouri. The Put America First rally will start at 3 p.m. at the Marriott St. Louis Airport. The rally has been sold out. When I talked earlier about the X's and O's and Trump, folks, I'd love to have a big whiteboard and put some of these things up. I'd like to get a whole wall and just walk back and forth to show you some things here. But the X's and O's on why President Trump endorsed Luther Strange in Alabama and why Breitbart Steve Bannon, that is fighting the battle from the outside, has endorsed Roy Moore. It is an interesting X's and O of what the Republicans, well, what the president is doing to Republicans right now. You may think that's a positive, but he's still doing something to Republicans. Lindsey Graham is setting the Republicans up for another fall because if they pass what's on the table, it will be a disaster. It will be revealed what it is. And the Democrats will go around and campaign how people lost their health care on Obamacare to something Lindsey Graham put together haphazardly that won't work. Watch and see. Or if it's set up to fail. The Republicans have been set up to fail on this all the way around. Now, tonight I'm going to be down in Pickens County. Last night, I want to apologize. We do upload our sports shows on demand. So you go to FYNTV.com and you're getting used to that, and you can watch all of our sports shows on demand. We do a Monday night show, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday, I was up there with Brian Allison, head coach of the Union Panthers. Tuesday, I was down here with head coach Casey Wingard of the Gilmer Bobcats. Last night, we were up in Fannin. All right, we're up in Fannin last night with Jim Pavo, head coach of the Fannin Rebels. And tonight we'll be down at Johnny's New York Style Pizza. Johnny's New York Style Pizza tonight with Coach Parker and the Pickens Dragons. I forgot I should make this mention. Follow us on Team FYN Sports. Go to our Facebook page, Team FYN Sports. Like our page. All right? We're broadcasting our sports shows live every night at 7 on Facebook Live with Team FYN Sports page. Then we are putting them on FYNTV.com as we're putting them on FYNTV.com as on demand. So you can always go check the shows out there. Friday night, I'm going to be, Friday night, Fannin Rebels, we'll talk about it again tomorrow, but Fannin Rebels tomorrow night are going to head over to North Hall, play the North Hall Trojans. Gilmer Bobcats are hosting Heritage, and today is the homecoming parade. Got to remember that it's the homecoming parade and the bonfire, because it is homecoming tomorrow night for the Gilmer Bobcats. They will be hosting Heritage. Pickens has a bye week, and Union Panthers. I don't know who the Murphy Bulldogs have. I should have got with Sean. I didn't write that down. I apologize, Murphy Bulldogs. I really do. I don't know who you have this week, but Sean Paul will definitely be on the sideline covering it. And the Union Panthers, our Team FYN Sports Game of the Week will be the Union Panthers hosting GAC. For some of you out there that's greater.
Murphy plays Robinsonville.
Robbinsville? Yeah. All right, so are they home? That's the second trick. You didn't know I'd ask that. Oh, you thought you were really sharp there, didn't you? Are they on the road?
No. Murphy has a home conference game.
Murphy has a home conference. All right, so the Murphy Bulldogs have a home conference game. Sean will be all over that against Robbinsville. But our FYN, our Team FYN Sports Game of the Week will be the Union Panthers GAC, Greater Atlanta Christian. I'm going to go watch that game. I got several I want to watch. I want to watch Northwest Whitfield this year. That quarterback and that running back, I want to watch them. I got several games I want to see. I think I'm going to see Northwest Whitfield play Pickens. But anyhow, starting Monday at 8:30, we are going to be doing 30 minutes called Monday Morning Quarterback. We're in region play. So this Monday morning, we will open up. We will open up with the show. We'll do a morning monologue. We'll do everything like we always do, and then after that we'll come back from break, and from 8:30 to 9 is going to be Monday Morning Quarterback high school football, and then from 9 to 10 whatever the news of the day is. But that's going to start Monday because we're in region play, and I can't wait for that. I'm your host, BKP, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I'm trying to think of where I have to go. You know, I always think of what I have to do next. And, well, almost done with the show, and I'm trying to think where I have to go. You know, let me tell you what's not funny. Somebody called me yesterday. They said, hey, you want to have lunch? I said, yeah, sure, we'll have lunch. You want to make it 11:45? I said, 11:45 is good. Yeah, we'll make it 11:45 so you'll be there at 12:10. That's what was said to me. You believe that, Sam? Forget it. Just forget it. What, you on the phones ordering my apple bread? Folks, I want you to read this article, Extraordinary and Worrisome. Wall Street Journal demands it's on Zero Hedge. Read the article, please. Why they are lying, it's a detailed. The warrants' timing may also shed light on the FBI's relationship with the infamous Steele dossier. The widely discredited dossier claimed ties between Russia and Trump campaign was commissioned by left-leaning research firm Fusion GPS and developed by British spy Christopher Steele, who relied on Russian sources. But the Washington Post and others reported Mr. Steele was familiar to the FBI. Please read this. The FISA court sets high bar for warrants on U.S. citizens and presumably even higher for wiretapping a presidential campaign. Did Mr. Comey, FBI, marshal the Steele dossier to persuade the court? I want you to read that article. It's a good one. I read that in depth this morning. They're lying, folks. They're lying. It's treason, and we need to get rid of Mueller, and we need to change the direction of the investigation immediately. Have a nice day. I'll be back. Sycamore Crossing. Ask the Doc. Wait a minute. I can't get. We got to Ask the Doc tomorrow with Dr. William Whaley. And what do we have? Pet of the Week. I knew Sam would wake up for that one. Pet of the Week tomorrow. We'll see you. Take us out here, Richie.